All right, guys, our guest tonight is current PWG World Champion and Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion Kyle O'Reilly. How you doing tonight?
Hey, man, I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem, man. Listen, we give you great intros. That's what we do here, my friend. Ring of Honor is in the middle of its summer heat tour. You're being featured heavily on the shows as part of Team Red Dragon. As a wrestler who started from the bottom, how does it feel to be such a big part of the company's future now?
Oh, it's huge, man. I've always said, and I stand by this, when I first got into wrestling, my goal initially was to get into Ring of Honor, and then, that happened. And I've just grown so much with the company, and I've been here for, just about 4 years now. And just watching the company grow and seeing myself grow as a performer, it's been awesome, man. And to know that, I'm an important part of the company now, it feels wicked. It's great to have that responsibility.
Mike, you all right?
As heavyweight champion in PWG and tag team champion in ROH, you play different roles in the two promotions. Does that present any specific challenges to you as a performer, or do you find it easy to kind of transition between the two?
Honestly, I'm grateful for that because, in Ring of Honor, I'm part of a heel tag team, whereas in Guerrilla, I'm more of a babyface singles wrestler. So it's the best of both worlds for me. It's two places where I get to perfect my craft, different styles and tag wrestling and working as a face, working as a heel. So man, it's awesome. I love being able to do that and just, I feel like I'm getting better every time, and I attribute that to the opportunity to wrestle two completely different styles and two completely different promotions.
PG?
Hey, Kyle, there's a lot of talk amongst fans and even in the industry about tag team wrestling being on the decline. But Ring of Honor is currently producing the best tag team wrestling in the business with you and Bobby Fish, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, and the Briscoe brothers, just to name a few. How do you feel about putting tag team wrestling really back on the forefront of professional wrestling, or are you itching to break off on your own in Ring of Honor?
Personally, I absolutely love tag team wrestling, man. And this whole thing with Bobby, it's been so special for my career and for both our careers, really. I've been able to just so many different aspects of wrestling I wasn't comfortable in before, whether it be the character aspect or the promo aspect. And through this team, we've just found, a direction for our characters to take. And I know I'm kind of going off the path of the question you asked, but it's great, man. Like you said, Ring of Honor has the best tag team wrestling in the world and the best teams. And the fact that our tag teams are getting the chance to be the main events of shows where the tag team title match, sometimes might go on after the world title match. So it's a huge opportunity, and we all really believe in what we bring to the table in tag team wrestling in general. So, yeah, man, it's awesome.
Well, listen, now that you won the PWG World title, I know that you see the success of the world champions who've come out of Ring of Honor over the years, the CM Punks, the Samoa Joes, the Daniel Bryans. Is that something you have your sights on? I know you're excited about what you're doing in the tag team division right now, but I mean, the world gold of Ring of Honor, that's got to be a goal for you at some point, right?
Oh, absolutely. Sure. I think in any company that someone works for, you want to make it to that upper echelon and be the top guy in the company. So, of course I hope to eventually achieve that goal, but I'm not in any rush, and I love what Red Dragon is doing right now, and I'm happy to be one half of the tag team champions, and I have no plans on changing the direction that we are focused on right now, and that's keeping Red Dragon on top and keeping the momentum going and keep having sweet matches and really just doing what Bobby and I have seen ourselves able to do since the beginning. I think a year and a half ago when we first teamed together, I don't think anyone expected us to be as successful as we have been and to end up where we are right now. So we're just going to keep that momentum moving forward and keep riding the train.
Mike Yohei?
Kyle, yourself and Bobby Fish have recently been accompanied to the ring by UFC star Tom Lawlor, which has made a lot of headlines. How well do you feel he's translated to the world of professional wrestling, and how big is it for Ring of Honor to bring in someone like him in terms of getting that mainstream attention that's so important?
Man, working with Tom was just an absolute pleasure. Talk about a guy who just instantly had the confidence and the charisma to get in a professional wrestling ring and be able to perform. And I think you guys will agree in that match. He did everything that he did. He played it perfectly to a T. His character was on. He was there for all of his spots. And, he's obviously a professional wrestling fan, but, he just meshed seamlessly into that world. And it was really cool getting to work with him, man. And the exposure that we gained through him as well. Bobby and I ending up on TMZ or what have you. It was really cool. And it was an awesome opportunity, man. And Tom's just a wicked guy, in and outside of the ring. So wishing him the best luck moving forward in his MMA career. I know he has an injury right now, but I'm sure he'll be back on a UFC card sooner than later.
PG?
Hey, Kyle, I know it's been 2 years, but we have to talk about your match against Adam Cole from Best in the World. Here at Ring Rust Radio, we consider the Match of the Year candidate and a true breakout performance for both you and Adam Cole. When you're having a match of that caliber, do you know you're part of something special as it's happening in the ring, or not until it's over and you hear the reaction from fans and your peers?
I think it was definitely a surreal moment as it was happening in the ring. We were really given a gift in me punching his face open. It was really a gift because it made the match so special. And I don't think anyone, as the match started, it was just kind of blah. And like the match was kind of destined to be a failure to begin with. Like I wasn't really keen on the rules and just, I wasn't really keen on the build of everything. And, truth be told, man, like, kind of going on a shoot here, but we planned, like, it'd be perfect, man, if, I'm elbowing you and you just, you bled everywhere, blah, 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 blah. Like, I was like, oh, man, maybe we should get you color, blah, blah, blah. And then the doctor comes out and then you wave him off and people be going crazy. It'll be so real. And then, of course, it got ixnayed. Like, we weren't allowed to, this day and age of pro wrestling, I kind of agree. Like, there's no really room or place for gigging and things of that nature. But, so anyway, we just went out there and did the match as is. And then, of course, that exact same thing ended up happening. So it was crazy that it just turned out that way. And, man, yeah, looking back, it was nuts, especially that point where it's like literally spraying out of his face. Just crazy, man. He's probably one of my favorite guys to ever get in the ring with.
Okay, listen, one more serious topic. During my research, I found that you are a type 1 diabetic. 25 million people in the United States suffer from the same disease. Do you embrace the possibility of being a role model for young people dealing with diabetes? Like, if you ever make the jump to a WWE or TNA or something like that, and you were asked to do some speaking in public to kids or something like that, would you embrace that kind of role?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, I totally can sympathize for what it's like being a youngster growing up with that disease. So, it's not an easy thing to deal with, man. So, I've dealt with it for a long time, and it's something that's just second nature to me now, so I don't really think of it. But, when people mention it to me that it's a unique thing, I guess it really is. And so I'd totally jump on that opportunity. Me and my wife, we do as much donations to the, JDRF charities as we can, but it'd be cool to go out and do some speaking. So yeah, that's a good idea.
MC?
Kyle, with established veteran stars like AJ Styles, Chris Hero, Christopher Daniels, and Frankie Kazarian returning to ROH in recent months, there's been a lot of buzz surrounding the company. How much does working against those types of wrestlers help a fast rising star such as yourself in terms of gaining credibility and becoming a top guy in ROH?
Oh, totally gives us a ton of credibility, working with guys like that who paved the road for guys like me. Anytime you get to share the ring with those guys, they're just a wealth of knowledge. Anytime you wrestle someone who's been wrestling longer than you, that's better than you come out of there just a better all-around performer. Like, I know working with Christopher Daniels was something I've been looking forward to for a very long time, and I finally got to make that happen. Like, Christopher Daniels was on the very first independent show I ever saw, man. I was like, I don't know, I might have been like freaking 13, 14 years old.
Did you tell him?
Did you make him feel old?
Yeah. Did you tell him that story? Because he probably hates that story.
I don't want to make him feel too bad about himself, but it's crazy, man. It's super surreal for me. And then my very first pay-per-view debut, I'm working with Christopher Daniels, man. And then, I learned so much from that match working with him and Frankie, and it's crazy. Anytime you get the chance to wrestle a guy that you used to study tapes of, it's a really cool experience.
BJ, final question?
Yeah, Kyle, you just talked about working with someone with the experience of Christopher Daniels and Frank Kazarian, but now you're developing into one of the best performers working on the independent scene. Are a lot of wrestlers coming to you for advice on their matches and their character?
I don't know. I don't really think I'm quite at that level yet where people are really seeking out my advice and stuff. So, truth be told, not really. Sometimes you'll wrestle, like you'll work with a guy on like a smaller independent show who's, trying to make a splash and trying to gain exposure and experience, and they'll definitely, ask you what I thought they did right or wrong and things of that nature. And, you always try and give them constructive criticism, much like anytime I've done a show with a guy like you'd said, a Christopher Daniels, a Chris Hero, and even if I wasn't working with them, I'd ask, hey man, can you watch my match? Give me any feedback. And a lot of the times they won't get a chance to, but a lot of the times they will. So, my advice to young wrestlers is definitely just go out of your way and do that. Ask the guy to watch your match. Ask him to pick it apart for you, and always ask for advice. And mouth shut, ears open. That's one of the very first things I ever was taught in professional wrestling. And those words are very true. And so some of the best advice I could give is just to be a good listener and to pay attention.
Listen, but before we get you in here, I got to ask you this, man. We've talked to a lot of indie guys over the last couple of years who have made the jump from Ring of Honor to a TNA or to a WWE. You're still very young in the business, but you're very, very talented, and you have a respect amongst your fellow wrestlers. Do you see yourself eventually trying to make the jump to the next level, either a TNA or a WWE?
Well, first of all, I really appreciate the compliment. And, you don't really, you get into wrestling as a kid with those dreams of WrestleMania, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you really pursue wrestling to this degree unless you hope to one day make it to the big show. So, that being said, I am so content and so happy where I am right now, working with Ring of Honor. I feel I still have a lot of areas to grow in. I know there's a lot I need to improve on before I make that next step. But Ring of Honor is the perfect place for me to develop myself, man. I'm wrestling against top world-class talent, and, it's pay-per-view and TV exposure for me. So I'm just getting used to those bigger things. And, hopefully one day, whether it be a couple of years from now or further down the line, I definitely will try and make the step towards a WWE. But, who knows, man? I'm happy where I'm at now. I'm happy performing. I love what I do. I'm very content, so there's definitely no rush.
Listen, huge thanks to Kyle O'Reilly for coming on the show. Please tell the fans where they can buy some merchandise, follow you on Twitter or anything else, just to support you in general.
Yeah, my Twitter is Roho O'Reilly, ROH O'Reilly, and go to ringofhonor.com. You can order a Red Dragon t-shirt. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Listen, man, we appreciate your time. Have a great day, and good luck going forward.
For sure. Take care.